What's going on, friends? It may sound crazy to dump a bunch of money into a 20-plus-year-old Harley-Davidson, but when you compare the price of a new Harley-Davidson to an older Harley-Davidson, that amount of money at that point doesn't really quite seem so bad, especially when you consider, yes, you are making a big investment into a much older motorcycle, but you're making that older Harley-Davidson new. And as we know, older Harley-Davidsons, these bikes tend to live forever. And that's the beauty of a Harley-Davidson, is being able to do that. Now, while you're making a huge investment in an older motorcycle, you're going to come out with something that is actually truly special, and you're not going to be buried in a bike that's really just appreciating in value, and at the same time, it doesn't really have exactly the power that you want. It's definitely more convenient to go out and buy a new Harley-Davidson motorcycle, but they are expensive, and that convenience comes with that expense. Now, if you don't mind going out and buying a used bike, or you already have a Harley-Davidson that you truly love, and you want to refresh it and build it into something new, and you don't mind that inconvenience of that downtime of having to have the engine tore down, wait on parts, put it together yourself, or wait on a shop to get it done for you, then this is the perfect thing for you to do, is put some money into your older bike. Now, building an older Harley-Davidson into something special, it's not cheap. As with anything with Harley-Davidson, nothing associated with Harley-Davidson is cheap, but it is definitely worth the time and effort to put into one. Now, later in the video, we're going to look at some dyno charts, some examples of what you could do with an older Harley-Davidson, and just what kind of power output you're going to get compared to the newer bikes. Guys, please don't forget, if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to hit that like button, and consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already. Now guys, getting into a brand new Harley-Davidson, and I'm going to use the touring bikes for example, a Road Glide and a Street Glide, you're automatically right there looking at about $22,000, and that's not including any dealer fees, taxes, freight, prep, setup, whatever else a dealer wants to tack onto that. You could be into a bike about $25,000 and it's bone stock. You don't have any exhaust, you don't have a tuner, you don't have an air cleaner, you don't have anything done to it. You could go in and put another $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 into the engine in this bike, and the next thing you know, you got a $30,000 motorcycle, and you still got to take the depreciation hit. Now, for a Twin Cam 88 build, just to keep things simple, one of the most comprehensive kits that I've found out there, and we're not sponsored by them, this is just a kit that I feel like has everything in it to build the engine right, and that is Fuel Moto's 98-inch kit. This is a very comprehensive and complete kit with high-quality parts. Plus, it'll kind of give us an example of what a kit like this would cost, and basically a rough example that will vary on what it would cost to get this put in if you weren't doing it yourself. Now, when it comes to a Twin Cam 88, I already know what you're thinking. What about that cam chest? Well, the Fuel Moto kit actually comes with a wood cam plate, wood oil pump, new cam chain tensioner chains, everything. Hydraulic tensioners. This completely updates the cam chest, and it brings that cam chest up to the 2000 up specifications with the hydraulic tensioners, which that is a huge thing on any 88 no matter what year. Now, the kit also comes with a brand new set of wood lifters and your choice of a TW6-6 or 555 cam, but just keep in mind, for the 555 cam, you will have to upgrade the valve springs in the heads. You're not going to be able to get around that, where the TW6-6 is a straight bolt-in cam that'll work with your factory heads and your factory springs. But even with the 6-6 bolt-in cam, you're still going to get some incredible power output. Now, for Fuel Moto's kit, they do give you a couple of options. You can send your cylinders in, which they'll be bored and sent back to you with the kit. But honestly, $300 more, you can get a brand new set of cylinders from Fuel Moto. They're already cleaned up. They already look good, and they'll be perfect match for your build, so I would definitely check into going with the extra $300. But not only that, with the 98-inch cylinders, you're going to get some 10-to-1 compression pistons. Now, remember in last week's video where we talked about some compression, 10-to-1 is just about perfect for the street, and that's why I love this kit, is it already comes with those 10-to-1 pistons, good compression ratio, very streetable, going to give you plenty of easy starting, plus years of good long life and service, not to mention the performance output. Fuel Moto's kit also includes a set of adjustable push rods, Torrington-style inner cam bearings, which is very important. Always change your cam bearings out with your cams. And not only that, a complete gasket set with everything you're going to need to install the kit. This is perfect if you're doing it at home by yourself, or if you're going to take it to a shop. You've already got the whole entire package ready to go to deliver to the shop, whether you order from Fuel Moto, take it to the shop, or you have the actual shop that you're having doing it purchase the kit for you. So far, so good. All this sounds really awesome. This sounds like the absolute best thing you could do for any 88. But you're probably wondering, what does all this cost? What is this going to run me if I'm paying somebody to put it in? Well, I can tell you right now, it's not cheap, but it is a heck of a lot cheaper than going out and buying a new motorcycle. But before we get into the cost, let's take a look at the power numbers first. What does this kit add up to? This is a lot of good parts. This is going into your 88, which basically was probably around 60 horsepower and maybe 80 foot-pounds of torque. Not very impressive. But after you install this kit, you are going to have a brand new motorcycle for a lot less than what it would cost. Now, this entire kit installed on a twin cam 88 with slip-on exhaust and using the TW6-6 cam, this will net you roughly 98 horsepower and 110 foot-pounds of torque. That's about as basic as it gets with slip-on exhaust, a good air cleaner, and still making some serious power. Now keep in mind, you will have to get this tuned, whether it be through a jet kit or using a Power Vision tuner. Now we're just using Fuel Moto's kit as an example here to make things simple and keep everything clean. But that's not to say you couldn't go out and source your own big bore kit, source your own cams, and source your own cam plate, which I would highly recommend doing that. Of course, you're going to need the new bearings and the gaskets, but this whole entire kit, the complete everything together, runs about $2,100. That's not bad at all, considering everything that you're getting in this kit. Now, what are we looking at to install this? Of course, if you're doing this yourself, you're going to save yourself a lot of money. Now, I'm just using Fuel Moto's pricing here on a full installation, which is roughly about $3,300. Now, that is a lot of money, but that can vary depending on where you live, the demographics that you're in, what shops you go to. So it's definitely worth your while to go out to your local shops and kind of ask around and get a ballpark on what an installation of a kit like that would cost. But $3,300 plus that kit, we add a little bit extra into that, we're looking at about $6,000. That's about the ballpark I would expect to go out. If you're going to go to a shop, order all these parts, put everything together, I would say about $6,000 or less. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're like, well, I'm right there in that kind of the ballpark of getting a crate engine. Well, crate engine costs a lot more, and it also has a few other little headaches involved in there as well. Because the cost of a crate engine, you're looking at about $1,500 to $2,000 more, plus installation on top of that. So buying a kit, doing it yourself, or having it done at a shop, yes, it is a little more tedious. It's going to take a little bit more time, but it's definitely worth the money that's saved over the crate engine plus the headaches. Now, investing $6,000 in a 20-plus-year-old motorcycle, that can sound pretty crazy. But if you consider, say you went out and bought a twin cam 88 on the very high end for $10,000 and a big touring bike with everything on it, then you go put another $6,000 invested into it. Say we're coming out at $16,000. That is a brand new motorcycle basically for $16,000 versus paying $22,000 for a brand new one and then doing all this to it and ending up somewhere around $30,000, or going out and buying a newer used bike for $16,000 that's got 20, 25, maybe 30,000 miles on it. At this point, a $16,000 investment into a 20-plus-year-old Harley doesn't sound too crazy if you think with Harley-Davidson in mind. Any logical person that's good with their money would never even own motorcycles, so we can pretty much throw that out the window. But yeah, guys, I want to get your opinions. Let me know in the comments. Is it worth it to you to spend that kind of money on an older Harley-Davidson, especially if it's over 20 years old? Is it worth $6,000 to do that to it? Or is it just say, forget it, I'll go out and buy a later model with a 103 that's already pretty close to that horsepower and start building from there? Or just throw it all out and go get a Milwaukee 8, which is already roughly 80 horsepower with the 114 and about 100 foot-pounds of torque. Let me know in the comments what your opinions on that are. But anyhow, guys, that's all I've got for you this week. If you guys enjoyed the video, please don't forget to hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already. But till next week, guys, you stay safe on the streets, ride smart, dodge those cars, and I'll catch you guys back here next week with a brand new video. Thanks for watching.